All right, I totally realized I forgot to cover a couple things in the previous video. So let's look at that now. I'm back at the search bar at the top right of the Robinhood app. I'm typing in SPY, the S&P 500, just for example here. We're going to hit trade, and we're going to hit trade options. And then again, I'm just going to click an expiration date. We already talked about calls and puts, some of the greens. I want to show you really quickly how to buy, how to sell, and then also discuss some of the types of orders that you're offered here in the buy sell screen. So let's go ahead and click this 520 call. Again, just kind of a recap to share some of the information from last video. 520 being the strike price, okay, over there on the left. These are all strike prices. This is considered the first out of the money contract for calls, because all the out of the money contracts are going to be the cheaper ones. That share price there, 519.50, has yet to surpass, because again, calls, we want share price to surpass our strike price, go far, far above. And then for puts, we want share price there, 519.50, to fall below. So again, all these strike prices on the left vary in value. These are in the money for puts, everything up here, because why? Share price has fallen below. These are all out of the money up here. Why? Because share price has not yet surpassed or risen above, which is what we need for these contracts to see profit. And of course, you got the in the money calls down here, which share price again has already surpassed the strike price. And these are hopefully in profit. But again, SPY's been selling today. So we see on the far right there, underneath the price of the contract, and again, price, you just move decimal 2 to the right, has actually seen loss. So again, these contracts have not profited for the day, at least it looks like. Some people may have, potentially seen profit at certain times in the day if the market was buying for a little bit. But for the most part, what we're seeing is loss there. Buy call, buy puts, again, in the money, out of the money. Cool. So we're just going to click 519p here, 328 expiration, high volume, high open interest, high delta, expires on the 28th. Obviously, market's closed, so we can't buy, but I'm going to just hit it now, and we'll walk through this screen. So right here, I'm going to click this little black arrow right there at the top left, so we can review the contract again once more. Yep, this is the one I want, double checking everything, all the stats, everything I saw on the previous page is good. It tells me right now how much buying power I have available. So in this portfolio, I've already traded today, used everything that I had literally. And so we've got nothing worth buying this with, right? 190 is not $190 there. It's $1.90. And then in the bottom here, we see the max cost of the contract. You can click that arrow as well. Just tells you basically, in a nutshell, this contract costs $1.31 per each share that exists within this contract. So there's 100 shares, 100 multipliers, what that is there in this contract, right? Times one contract, which gives us a grand total plus the Robinhood fees of $131.03. The 3 cents courtesy of Robinhood. And that is the cost right now that we're seeing will get filled immediately. Why do I say this limit order? We'll talk about that in a second. Will get filled immediately. It's because I can see right there clear as day, the green bar, which I'm moving, is right there under the ask. And as we talked about earlier, ask is seller's price. So if I already know what the seller wants for it, obviously if I submit an order to buy at their price, it's going to get filled immediately. That is the benefit of buying contracts at the ask, okay? It will auto-fill, essentially. You're not going to have what we call floating orders, where your order to buy is submitted, but it just hasn't been filled. So your buying power is basically on hold, right? It's reserved for that order until it's filled, and then you own that contract, which you can decide to sell to close, exercise, all that stuff. So again, one contract here is going to cost me $131 at the seller's price. The median price, okay, the healthy price between the buyer's price, here's the bid, and the seller's price is the mark. Normally, this is going to fluctuate. It's going to have, sometimes when you're going to buy and the market's open, it'll tell you, it'll say high fill likelihood or low fill likelihood. Fill, like we just talked about, just means is your order filled, right? Is it sitting open? Is your money been accepted by the seller, essentially? So mark is good for, sometimes a discount, but this is such a tight bid ask spread, right? $2, not much. Considering the delta is so high on this thing, I'm not really worried about it. I normally, again, just to get in based on my analysis upon confirmation, when I'm comfortable, I'm okay with spending $2 more, right, over the bid just to get this filled immediately. Whereas if I were to go to the bid now, it might say, for example, if the market was open low fill likelihood, meaning, yeah, your order's probably going to sit until price drops. And then what you'll have is potentially that price there, 129, could be the ask, right? At some point, there may be some sellers out there that are like, hey, all of us, we want to sell at 129. And if your order's sitting, it'll get filled at that time, right? Once the ask has become 129. But normally, again, bid is not going to get filled on the buying side because that's what other buyers are trying to get it. They're trying to get it for cheap too. If I want to get it before they do, I may have to spend, a couple bucks more. In this case, I've done the math. Risk to reward is fine for me. I'm okay with spending $2 more per contract just to get it filled now so I can start collecting that profit off of the delta. Again, with this put, we need stock price to fall down. And for every dollar, give or take, you're going to make about 52 bucks per contract. Again, lots of things affect that. That's why there's other Greeks there. The amount of time it takes to, drop that dollar is going to incorporate the theta decay, so on and so forth. Again, don't want to confuse you, but delta for dollars, T for theta decay, all that good stuff. Anyways, buy, ask, limit order. Let's talk about that really quick. So limit, all that means is you are setting a price. Okay, limit price means I am setting my limit. This is what I want it to fill for. And of course, I've selected that, so it'll show up there. Stop limit is basically a safety net for buying on this end, right? Because we're still buying the contract. We don't own it yet. So what that would do is essentially submit a price that would then submit the order for me. Okay, so let me not confuse you. Two prices are selected with stop limit. That's why it's two words, stop price and limit price. Okay, and the stop price is actually the price that needs to be hit once you set it so that the limit order to buy can be filled at. Okay, so again, this is just if I know I want to get a contract really bad and maybe it hasn't hit confirmation on my charting or analysis. It's not ready to be bought right now, but I know it will be soon and I have to step away from the computer, something like that, or my phone. So I would set a stop limit so that it would submit two prices for me. One price is going to have to get hit. Once that first price is hit, the stop price, it immediately will start to submit that limit order. And once the limit price is hit, that's when the order is filled. Okay, so let me not confuse you one more time. Stop price just means, hey, I want to submit a price so that this order can get sent out once this price hits. So let's say it's $85 is my stop price. Okay, but I know I want to purchase the contract for $80. The reason I do that is so I get first in line, essentially, right? I'm submitting this stop price at 85 so the market can be aware, hey, we're looking at filling a potential limit order here. We just got notice at $85 price. Their limit order price is $80. So now that this stop price has been hit, we're going to fill their limit price at $80 once that is reached in market on contract value, right? Because it's all based on how much the contract is worth. So again, stop price sends in the order. The limit order, or the limit price is what is filled. Okay, that is your price to buy at. Stop price is when the order is submitted. Okay, awesome. Market is now aware. Limit price is when the contract value hits that price, your buy order is filled. So I never use stop limit on buy orders. I took all that time to explain that to you just to let you know I never use stop limit. Okay, but for those of you out there who want to use it, there you go. You know how now, hopefully. You set a stop price and a limit price, and this is what it looks like, right? So essentially, if I know I want to buy for, like we were looking at earlier, let's say it's a low fill likelihood at 129. Well, I know I want to buy at 129, but I want this order to be submitted at right now, right? I could just do it for right now, and that'll basically submit my order now and let the market know, hey, if it drops to 129, boop, I'm a buyer. I'm ready to fill that price immediately. I get first in line. Whereas other people may just be submitting it, after you and they get filled after. But if you're buying a contract with high volume, high open interest, you don't need to worry about submitting orders early unless, again, you're automating your trading so you can step away. I think that makes sense. You have to set the phone down, got to take the kids to school. You want to purchase it at this price. It's in your zone based on your analysis. You can do that. This is for the buy side. On the opposite end, you can do a stop limit sell order, sell to close, right? We talked about in the previous video, and exactly the same thing, except it's on the opposite end, right? It's for profit. In this case, you're not doing an order with a stop price to buy at limit price. You're doing an order with a stop price to sell at limit price. And again, that could be for stop loss, right? As they call it, stop limit, stop loss order. In that case, when you're selling to close, because, hey, I've already got this contract. Let's say I'm up 20 bucks profit, right? 120, I bought it for 100. And I could set, in that case, my limit to sell at 115, because I know for a fact I want to take at least $15 profit, but I have to step away. So I'm going to put my stop price right now at 120. So it submits it immediately at this price. And then I want my limit to be 115. At bare minimum, I'm walking away with 115. Now, mind you, the market is going to fill you at that 115. That means if price runs and in profit and he keeps going, most likely will not fill your sell to close order, right? Because you have some crazy price that no one's paying. It might fill. But again, don't confuse yourself. You don't need a stop limit if you're going to be actively watching the charts for your analysis, and you can just submit orders. You don't need stop limit orders. You don't to buy or to sell, in my opinion. It's just for automating trading so that you can, again, sell to close with confidence or buy to open with confidence. But limit order is pretty much all you'll ever need. You can see what buyers and askers are selling. And again, if I'm up $100 on, in profit, for example, I don't mind selling at the bid, right? The buyer's price. Let's say I bought this contract for $100. I'm at 131 in contract value. I would not, in that case, right? 30% profit. What's 30% or 31% profit compared to 29%, right? Roughly, in terms of our goals for our portfolio growth, it's about the same. It's $2 difference. So that's what I'd do. I would happily sell at 129 if, again, I'm comfortable with the percentage, my price targets are hit based on my analysis, and I'm not itching for too much. Greed kills. So you can't lose if you close in green. So again, 29%, let's just say I'm up, right? Bought it for 100, selling at 129. I would happily do that on the sell page here, assuming, again, this is a sell order and we're doing a sell limit order. This is what I mean, right? I'd happily sell for 129 at the bid price, just for what? For it to get filled immediately. Because at that point, once I own the contract and I've clicked the contract from the home page, I am now the person who is selling. I'm asking people to pay me this money so I can give the contract out to them, right? And so there you go. So bid is buyer's price, ask is seller's price. We just talked about and walked through the screen of what it looks like when you're buying on Robinhood. This is the exact same screen you'll see when you're selling to close your contract positions from your main homepage. You click trade on the contract once you open it, and then you hit sell, and that will walk you through to sell your option contract. It'll look exactly like this: limit order, stop limit. You now know what those mean. At the bottom, we didn't really talk about it, but time in force is just really for if you're going to swing a contract or hold overnight. For example, if you're up $100 one day and there may be more potential profit tomorrow, but you're willing to sell at, a little under, a little over, you can submit an order to sell and put good till canceled. And that just means, again, it says there, if your order doesn't get filled at that price to buy or sell, it'll expire automatically, this order for you, in 90 days, which, again, most folks aren't buying contracts past that. And anyways, you only need good for a day. So I've already rambled too much. That's pretty much it. There's really nothing else to talk about here. Don't want to confuse you. God bless. Hope you're having a great one. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, have a great day.